Good morning. You're watching the Shannabis blog. I'm Shanna Perry. I figured this morning we would talk about some of the fundamentals of exactly what cannabis, marijuana, cannabis hemp is, and then go down a little brief history of what's happened, where we are today. First off, there's three different types of cannabis. There's cannabis hemp, there's cannabis marijuana, and then there's ruderalis, which we'll discuss later on. The two most popular, what you might know today, is cannabis hemp, which is the male seed of cannabis sativa. It grows very long, high, tall stalks and is very good for textiles, biofuels. Basically, hemp can save our planet. And then there's cannabis marijuana, which is the female seed that grows what we call flowers or buds. That is the most popular smoked consumed part of the plant for the past millennia. We actually did a lot of whole plants thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. The Chinese emperors back in 2900 BC, 2700 BC used cannabis as medicine, and it was used throughout their empires as a medically beneficial plant. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward thousands and thousands of years while cannabis was used as medicine around the world to President George Washington, our very first president. Most of you probably know that he was a farmer and had a plantation. What you might not know is that his plantation grew hemp. He was a hemp farmer. George Washington made many entries in his diary discussing his mission and his passion to find the medicine in his farm, in his hemp farm. Additionally, our Declaration of Independence is written on hemp. In 1850 is when marijuana was put on the U.S. pharmacopoeia, and it listed numerous afflictions that it was beneficial in treating. In 1964, THC was discovered. THC is the psychoactive cannabinoid that's found in the cannabis plant. There's also potentially over 1,000 cannabinoids found within the plant. Currently, we've been able to identify somewhere around 250, and currently we only test for about 15 of them. So much of that science and research is still out, and looking forward to seeing those discoveries as they happen. In 1971, President Richard Nixon declared his war on drugs, making marijuana and LSD Schedule I substances. There's many stories out there that say doors were kicked in to people's houses like John Lennon, and they were all arrested for drugs because you can't arrest them for speaking up against the Vietnam War now, can you? In 1986, Ronald Reagan signed in the Anti-Drug Act, where it created mandatory minimum sentences for simple possession, and also the 3-strike rule. 3 times in trouble, gone for life. In 1990, cannabinoid receptors were discovered. And then in 1992, the endocannabinoid system followed. Now, what your endocannabinoid system is a system that resides in every living thing. It is sitting there waiting to receive cannabinoids. There's something called CB1 and CB2 receptors. They make sure that your brain synapses fire properly. We're seeing all these benefits with utilizing cannabis in our ailments because we have an endocannabinoid system and cannabinoid receptors that are just there to receive cannabinoids. That's additionally why cannabis cannot kill us. It's physiologically impossible. Any poisonings that you hear about are basically, getting high and losing your mind a little bit, but you come back. In 2000 is when Colorado and Nevada became the 7th and 8th states to legalize medical marijuana. In 2003, was when the US got the patent for cannabinoids. When the vote was happening for legalization in Colorado in 2012, I was there. I remember there was this energy in the air where people had lived next to medical marijuana dispensaries for since 2008, when they actually started an infrastructure of it, not regulated, but an infrastructure. And people were very familiar with the local pot shops. They saw that it wasn't an issue, wasn't a problem. They didn't mind having them. They actually saw that it was better for the community. Fast forward to where we are now in Nevada. Back in 2013 was when licensing happened in order to have a medical marijuana establishment business, where you would be a cultivator, a producer, a retail shop, or a laboratory. Prior to allowing medical marijuana establishments in 2013, patients since 2000 were able to grow their own medicine. There was just no patient-to-patient caregiving trade, commercial trade of any kind. Whereas Colorado and California and places like that created patient-to-patient nonprofit small businesses. Nevada, unlike any other state, is the first completely regulated marketplace. Currently, where we are is about 30 days from November 8th, where we can vote to legalize recreational cannabis in the state of Nevada. There's a portion of the money that's going to schools. Because this is such a new market, this is new to everybody. The other states that have been conducting marijuana business was never regulated. They are now going backwards and beginning the regulation process. We've been regulated here. We started out with that. It's never been done before. There's a lot of people that reference internal industry problems, community issues, and they reference to Colorado or California or Oregon, Washington. And the bottom line is that none of those states have ever been regulated. None of those states were told to not infuse candy. None of those states were told to have a limit on how much THC or CBD you can have in your product. Which, by the way, because this is a natural plant, man forever tries to control Mother Nature. There are no guarantees when you grow a plant. It is imperative to use real expertise and as much information and education as you can gather before making final decisions, because some final decisions we just don't know yet. The science is just not there. And when you're dealing with Mother Nature versus man-made or synthesized medicines, you can't guarantee as much as you can when something's manufactured versus grown. I encourage you to read more detailed history at medicalmarijuana.procon.org. So medicalmarijuana.procon.org. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching my vlog. Please go to shannabis.com for more.